Good evening. Good evening. My name's Rod. I've been doing, building designing or drafting for about 18 years now, mainly on a 2D program. We changed to Archicad about 4 years ago, and we've got a couple of other guys in the office, and we've just transitioned through to Archicad. We've all got two screens, so we use, we've got our plan on one view, and then we use all our toolbars on the other, just to give you a bit better work environment. I'm going to show you how we use Archicad when we're doing more standard sorts of, fairly simple sort of working drawings, brick veneer, conventional construction, pitched roofs, slab on ground, that type of thing, in a way when people don't want to see the full models or they don't want to pay for the full models, just to keep it simple. So not everything in Archicad has to be modelled. Modelling things like drop edge beams and full-on kitchens with cupboards takes a lot longer when it can be just shown with line work or slabs. Things like colours don't normally need to be shown, if people don't want to see them, which they don't always. So what we've got, if we go to 3D, how do I scroll? There we go. We can see we've got a slab down here. We've just got a generic slab thickness. We're not showing any trusses. We're keeping it quite simple. It's a bit hard to see. Our kitchen is just a bench top with the appliances shown, mainly just to show it simply. Our ground floor plan, much the same as what Mark's got set up. You've got your standard dimensions, your standard bathroom items, kitchens, that type of things. Your bathroom items or your kitchens, that sort of stuff, usually comes in Archicad. It's got a library, I guess, of all these types of things, so a lot of it's all set up to go. The way that we've got it set up in our program is with a template file. So our ground floor plan, when we go there, it's all right. We're ready to start drawing with our walls. We have, and I'm just going to get this up here. So if you're doing a lot of the same sorts of things, you can set up on your favourites palette here, all different types of walls, which will show, the proper way that a brick veneer wall is supposed to work, or a 110 wall, or a 90mm wall. So when you can draw it all in that way from the start. They can all be changed, later on, should you wish to. And it'll change automatically, and like Mark said, that'll update in all your other views. So with things like your elevations, when you're not modelling everything, you can just go back to the old, 2D way of drawing for some things. So on our front elevation, because we haven't modelled this with the full slab with your drop edge beams and modelling it with all the footings and that type of thing in, we've just modelled a slab as being just as a flat, like Mark said, just a flat object. It means that this is quite deep, and it's obviously too deep for what would be needed for your normal documentation with your elevations. But what you can then do is just drag we have all our standard notes and that type of thing over to the side. We can just select all those, Command, bit different on a Mac, here we go, and you can just drag those over and your elevations are drawn with your notes, and you can just move your, if you need to move your ceiling heights, you can move your ceiling heights. We show here, if you need to put your ground lines in, you can just draw your ground lines where they need to be. And then you hide the bits that you don't want to see, like the, because we haven't modelled the slab and it goes down too deep, you can cover that up with what's called a fill. And, and just hide what you basically don't need to see. Because modelling in everything properly in 3D is a bit more tricky and time consuming. So when you get Archicad, you have your standard file. You can set that up so that your elevations and your markers and that all ready to go. You draw within a certain area, and that will be there automatically. So on our ground floor plan, so we can see on the drawing here, once we draw within our elevation markers, when we go to our elevation views that are set up, they're already there. Same with our section. When we go to our section, you can see section here, already drawn as it's modelled. You can see there's no trusses, there's no ceiling, there's no detail on that. But again, you have this where you just cover it in the old 2D style of drawing, just to cover and just to make it accurate for your your construction type drawings. And you can drag that over. And just adjust any labels, as necessary. So with your floor plans, and anything based on a floor plan, like Mark said, you can have that set up so that your ground floor plans are there. You might want to have a slab plan. It'll bring up your slab that you've drawn in your as part of your floor plan, and you can just overlay that any dimensions that you need. Same with your elevations. Not your elevation, sorry, your electrical plan. Your electrical plan, you can tell it to turn the layers off for your, things like dimensions, any floor hatching, that sort of stuff that you don't want to see, and then you can just show in a different layer the electrical items. And that way, when you do go and change or move a wall or something like that, move a window, it updates on all relevant plans. Same thing works with things like landscape plans, if the kitchen details. If you want to show specific plumbing layouts, things like that, it'll all update automatically. And then we have as well, and then what you also can set up as well is just a, basically like with your paper, like what Mark says, you can have that set up so that, straight away, you've got your standard title blocks that you want to use, you put all your client details in, it updates automatically. We can set up here, elevation section type plan. If they're drawn in that area where they were on the floor plan, they will come over automatically. What I'll also touch on basically as well, is the BIMX app that Mark was showing you with all the documentation included. BIMX has a free app, and you can use that on any type of tablet or a phone. That won't show you all the documentation, but it will give you a walkthrough, and you can walk through a home as if it's built. Like a computer game, I guess, it's got like a joystick type of thing. You do have to model in the ceilings and those other things that we've kind of missed with the construction type drawings. The only other type of drawing that I will show you, which is something that that's good for when you're in the early stages of sketching, before you've worked out colours and things like that, is a ArchiCAD. It's a bit hard to see. ArchiCAD can do like a hand drawing type of output. So it'll get your lines, they can sort of overlap, they can have little squiggles, bit thicker, bit thinner, like the old style perspectives, I guess. You can incorporate some shadows. And when you're early in the stage, rather than trying to create, proper type details, it looks a bit nicer than the standard 3D output. So as far as ArchiCAD goes, it can do the high-end sort of type things, or if you're just trying to get quick, easy plans out, it can be set up to do that quite easily as well. That's all I've got. So we've got